Hello all, in this particular tutorial we will learn how to perform RMAN active database duplication and we will duplicate database to another server. Active database duplication does not require backups of the source database. It duplicates live source database to the destination host by copying database files over the network. To perform active database duplication, a connection to target database is required. Active database duplication requires minimal setup and is simpler to perform. Oracle recommends that you use active database duplication in general unless network bandwidth between source and destination is a constant. Now let me explain this in a detail. So let's say you have a very large database, probably 1 terabyte or maybe slightly bigger. If you want to use the traditional backup and restore, you need to first take the backup of your source database. Then you need to transfer these backups to the destination server. Also, you need the disk space to store your backups. All of this is time consuming and resources are utilized. RMAN active database duplication resolves this problem by performing the restore or duplicate over the network by copying the database files, and it does not require backups. This particular method requires a connection to target database, and this is very simpler and minimal setup is required to perform this particular duplicate of your database. Now, as per the Oracle, this is the recommended method. So you should use this particular method whenever you want to duplicate the database. You should use this particular method unless the network bandwidth between source and destination is a constraint. Let's understand our scenario. So I got two servers, source DB1, destination is DB2. Oracle database software is installed, which means Oracle Home is present on both DB1 and DB2. On the source server, there is a database called Aura19D, which we will duplicate on destination server. And on the destination server, there is no database present. So our aim is to duplicate the database Aura19D running on DB1 to DB2, the destination DB2 in this particular tutorial. This tutorial is done on Oracle 19c running on Linux 8. How to install Oracle database software is not covered in this tutorial. What are the steps? So on the source server, create the P file, transfer P file to destination server, transfer password file to destination server. On the destination server, set the TNS entry for source database, open database in no mount mode using P file, duplicate database using RMAN. So let's understand this particular step. So only 3 steps on the source: create P file, transfer password file. No need to take any backups. On the destination server, this TNS entry, we will create this TNS entry on the destination server, and this TNS entry will point to the source database server or source database. Then once the TNS entry is set, open the database in the no mount mode using the P file. This particular P file, whatever P file that we transferred from the source, use that particular P file to open the database in the no mount mode. And then you duplicate the database using RMAN. So duplicate the database using RMAN. So these are the high level steps. Let's understand the steps in detail. So on the source server, you have to create P file. So create P file from SP file. If you have the P file already, you can skip this particular step. Once the P file is created, transfer P file and password file to destination server. Now, on the destination server, first thing that we will do is set up the DNS entry to source database. Remember, this entry we are creating on destination pointing to the source database. So we will be creating this entry on DB2 pointing to source DB1. This name of this DNS entry can be anything. This is of your choice. However, this should point to the source host, and this is the name of your source database. So this DNS entry will create in Oracle Home Network Admin, and we will edit the TNS name.aura file to create this DNS entry on the destination server pointing to the source database. Now, once the TNS entry is created, we can run the active duplication command. So to run this particular command, what we need to do is we have to start our instance in the no mount mode using the P file that we transferred from the source. So using the P file, we start our instance in the no mount mode, and then we will connect to the RMAN, we'll connect to the target, and we'll connect to the auxiliary. Now, this particular connection string is pretty important. Here, target refers to the source. So in the target, you'll connect to the source or actual production database that you want to clone or actual source database that you want to clone, and auxiliary is the one on destination server. So what we are saying here is duplicate database to Aura19D from active database, no file name check. So this particular command will do the magic of copying the database files, the control file, etc. over the network, and it will perform the RMAN active duplication. The most important part in this is this particular connection string. So be careful in specifying these particular parameters, and be careful in creating the TNS entry. Once you have done this, now once you have set the TNS entry, you can perform actual duplicate command. So let us begin the labs. So before I proceed, let me show you how my servers looks like. So as I mentioned, I got two servers. The source is DB1, destination is DB2. If you see the color coding, the DB1 has got the font which is white in color. The DB2 has got blue, sky blue, whatever you want to call this. This, based on the color of the font, you can identify whether I'm performing the activity on the source server or on the destination server. You don't always have to look at the host name. So on the source server, as I mentioned, there is a database called Aura19D running. On the destination server, there is no database present. So our aim is to duplicate this Aura19D from DB1 to DB2 using active database duplication. So let's proceed. So we have to do some steps on the source. What are the steps on the source? Create P file, transfer P file, transfer password file. So these are the three things that we need to do on the source server. So let's do the steps on the source server. So this is my source server. First thing that I'll do is set the environmental variable Aura env Aura19D. That looks good. And before I actually do that, before I actually perform these steps, I want to capture this information. Now, why do I want to capture this information? Because if you see my duplicate command, here, when you run this particular command, it will try to duplicate the database to exactly same location. The data files, redo logs, control file, everything will be duplicated to the same location as your source database. To allow for us to know the location where is how the source database is configured, you have to run this query. So I'm running the query on $log file, $data file, $temp file, $control file. I'm getting the location. Now, in my case, everything is configured in this single directory. In your case, you might have multiple directories. So based on the output of these commands, you might have to create more than one directory. In my case, everything is under the same directory. And let's verify that. So let's connect as sysdba. That's done. Let's run these commands. And as you can see, redo logs, data files, temp file and control file, everything is in the same directory. So this is the directory that I'll be creating on my destination server. So now we will proceed with the actual lab of these three things. So we will proceed with these three steps. So let's first create our P file. To create our P file, the command that I'll be running is pretty simple. So before I create the P file, let's actually go to that particular location. So let's actually exit from here. Go to that particular location. Let's verify. So you can see I don't have the P file. I only have the SP file. I don't have the P file. So let's connect to the database as sysdba. And then we will run the create P file from SP file command. File created, exit. And let's run exactly same command once again. This time you should see that we got fifth file. Here previously we had only 4 files. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we got the fifth file init, and that is init aura file, which is the output of this. So we created the P file, and where that P file got created, it got created in the Oracle Home DBS location. So let me go clear this. Under the Oracle Home DBS location, that particular file got created. So if you see my command here, I'm going cd Oracle Home DBS location. Under that, we got the P file created. Now, what we need to do, we need to transfer the P file and password file, and our work on the source server is completely done. So let's transfer these two files to the destination. So I'm going to transfer the init parameter file and the Aura password file to the destination server, and then we are ready to log off. So let me transfer this file and this file to the destination server. So let me take this, put it here. That's done. So I've transferred the init aura file and password file to the destination DB2. Our work on the source server is done. Log off from your source server. Done. Let's go to the destination server. And now whatever we will do now, it will be everything will be on the destination server. So let's begin. So the first part that we need to do is create the TNS entry. But before I create the TNS entry, let me edit this etc aura tab file. So let me edit this etc aura tab. And why I'm doing this first is because this will help me to set the Oracle environment. I don't have to then manually set the Oracle home, Oracle base. It saves my time, and it actually is pretty helpful. So let's verify that that particular entry has been created. Tail -1, and you can see that particular entry has been created. Aura19D is the instance name or Oracle SID. This is the Oracle home and says auto restart is no. So Oracle SID, Oracle home, and stands for auto restart no. So the Oracle Aura tab entry has been created in etc Aura tab. Let's set the environmental variable Aura env Aura19D, and that looks good. So Oracle home, Oracle base has been set successfully. That's good. Now what we will do, we'll create the TNS entry, and this TNS entry should point to so in the Oracle home network admin. Under this, we will edit this particular file, the TNS names.aura. So we'll edit the TNS names.aura file, and we are going to create this entry. This entry is one which we are creating on destination db2 pointing to db1. So you can see I'm running this particular command on db2 pointing to db1. So, and this is the source database. So we are creating this entry. This can be of your choice, whatever name you want to give. This is the source database where your actual production database is running, or actual database that you want to clone. And this is the name of that particular database. So let's save that. Let's now, once that is done, verify that that TNS entry is working fine. So let's use the TNS ping, and looks like 0 milliseconds. So we were able to connect. So from db2, we were able to connect to db1. The TNS entry looks good. Now what we are going to do, we have transferred two files, the p file and the password file. I have already set the environmental variable, but no harm in setting it once again. So let me set the environmental variable once again. That looks good. And let me go to the Oracle home DBS location and verify that the two files that we transferred have received here. So the two files is init aura file and aura password file. Looks like we have received those files. So that is good. Now what we need to do is we need to start our instance in the no mount mode. But before I start our instance in the no mount mode, I need to create some directories. What are the directories? As you remember, I captured some information in the beginning, the information about where is my data file, log file, temp file, etc. In your case, you might have more than one directory, but in my case, everything is under the same directory. So I need to create the directory for my data file, etc. The other directories that I need to create is the archive log dash and audit dash dump. Now, how to get this information, which directory to create here, which directory to create here? How do you get this particular information? It's pretty simple. What you do is you open your init parameter file. So open that particular file and look for the location that you specified in audit file dash location. So you can see you have specified this. So create this particular directory. You have specified the log arc dash 1. So here you can see that we have specified. So if you have specified log arc dash 2, log arc dash 3, if you have specified more than one location, make sure to create those directories as well. If you have set the FRA, create that particular directory. So if you have set the recovery dash location parameter, create that. So based on how you have set up your environment, you might have to create more than one directories. So in my case, I'll be creating 3 directories, one for the audit file dash, one for the control file, data file, etc., because everything is in the same location, and one for the log arc dash 1. So these are the 3 directories that I'm going to create. Let me show it to you. So let me clear this and let me show it to you that I'm creating 3 directories, one for the data file, log file, etc., one for the log arc dash 1, one for the audit dash 1, audit file dash. So that's done. So we have created the 3 directories. Now this is the Oracle home DBS location, and under this we have got this init aura file. I'll be using this location and this init parameter file to start our instance in the no mount mode. So let's set the environmental variable, which I have already done, but no harm in doing it once again. So that's done. Startup. Let's connect our instance SQL plus SSDBA. That's done. and let's run this startup no mount p file is equal to. So instead of copying the command, I'll show you how to form this particular command. So startup no mount p file is equal to the location of where you have stored your p file slash the name of your p file slash semicolon enter. And if everything is looking good, if whatever we have done till now is good, then our instance should start in the no mount mode. Give it a few seconds for the instance to start in the no mount mode. That looks good. At this moment, we are now ready to perform the duplicate command. Before I perform the duplicate command, let me explain this once again. So the target is your source, auxiliary is on the host DB2. The target is your source. This is the entry which is pointing in the tnsnames.aura. It is pointing to the source server. Let's verify that entry once again, and you can see from DB1 we are pointing to from DB2 we are pointing to DB1. So this particular entry is on the destination pointing to the source database. That entry is what we'll be using in the target. This is the actual production database. This is the auxiliary database. So let's take this particular entry. Let's clear the screen. Let's take this, and when you run this particular command, you will see the target is fully active and auxiliary is in the no mount state. So let's verify that, and you can see Aura 19D target fully active and auxiliary database is in the not mounted state. That looks good. So we have looks like the connection is proper. We have set and verify this. Take your time, verify this that you have properly connected to the target database. We have properly connected to the auxiliary database. Verify this once, twice, thrice. Now that we have set up everything, we are now ready to run this simple command. This particular command is going to do the magic for us. Everything is going to do for us. The duplicate database to Aura 19D from active database, no file name check. So this is one single command which is going to do all the magic for us. So let's run this particular command. And now this particular command is going to copy the database file over the network. So it's going to go to the source database, it's going to connect to the source database, it's going to copy the control file, it's going to open the database in the mount mode, then it's going to restore the data file, restore the sysocs, all the table spaces, open the database in reset logs mode. This particular script is going to take some time. I'm not going to waste your time. So I'm going to pause and come back when it's about to finish. So give it a few seconds. So as you can see, the restore is about to finish. It's not done yet, it's about to finish. So we are almost at the end. So this particular script, what it has done is like it has copied everything over the network without backup. So if you see, I have not taken the RMAN backup. There is no backups involved in this. It actually connects to the source database and over the network, it copies the control file, data files, etc. So give few minutes, almost done. And we can see finish duplicate DB. So we have successfully duplicated our database. So that's done. Now let's connect to this particular database. So let's clear the screen. Let's connect to this particular database and let's verify that whether we are able to connect to this particular database. So let's run this. This is a very simple query. So all that it does is like it's actually joins it's nothing fancy. If you see, I'm just joining the $V instance and $V database, and I'm pulling the name of instance, host name, name of the database, status, open mode, create a startup, this one. So it's nothing fancy. So let's connect to this database. That's done, and let's run this particular query in its entirety. And that's done. So let me capture this information here. And for the last time, what I'll do, I will connect to the source database. Let me set the environmental variable. That's done. Let me connect to the database. And let me run exactly same query what I ran on the destination server. That's done. Now let me take this again and put it here. So as you can see, from the source, from the DB1, we were able to duplicate the database to destination DB2. So when we started, there was no database running on DB2. Now you can see that there is a database running on DB2. So we are we have successfully restored the database on DB2 or on 19D from the source database, and this particular duplication was done using the RMAN active database duplication. So with this, I would like to end this particular tutorial. Let me end this particular tutorial with the comment that this particular method is the most simplest method of performing the duplicate command, and this is the recommended method by Oracle. So if you ever have to duplicate the database, use this particular method to duplicate your database. Now, thank you for watching this particular tutorial. Before ending this particular tutorial, I would like to say, if you do like the videos that I'm uploading, if you do like the content that I'm uploading to my channel, do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you in next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.